Hey everybody, I'm Jordan at PDQ.com.
I'm Jason.
It's PDQ A because Patch Tuesday.
Oh.
Back before we had a whole lot of processes in place, Patch Tuesday took a lot of my week, so I couldn't study things, and now I'm pretending like that's still the case.
Now you just put on a front.
Yeah. So we can have the PDQ A on.
So we can just answer questions and win points.
Yeah. But as far as Patch Tuesday, like 84 patches, only 4 critical.
That's it?
Even the criticals weren't, like there's 7.5, 8.1.
Give it a week.
Give it
Give it a week. We'll get a 0 day in there.
So
Great.
last month there was hardly anything critical, but starting the month there was a horrific 0 day. This time
Really?
we don't have the 0 day. We keep on getting better. The trend line is positive.
Don't give them hope.
Well, according to the security expert I talked to, that's a bad sign. That's the calm before the storm.
Yeah. That's why I said give it a week.
Yeah, but that just means
I usually show when I'm doing the demos, I'm like, cumulative update. They come out once a month. Oh, wait, except for May. And oh, wait, last year. And
So yeah, patch. Let's get into questions, though. I'm looking forward to winning again.
Yeah, so Jordan is the defending champion. This is Jason Hanks. He's taking Josh's place. Josh was basically left in shame because Jordan beat him last week. And so Mr. Hanks
tucked his tail between his legs.
is coming in his stead. We have Sid on Phone a Friend. He's our solutions manager. He's in the game as well. And Glenn, our buddy from Smart Deploy. Glenn, thank you for joining us. My money's
to be here.
My money's on Glenn today. I'm going with Glenn.
My money is too on Glenn.
All right.
Don't sleep on Glenn.
Don't sleep on Glenn.
He hates that.
We're going to need that shirt.
All right.
You'll crush him.
Are we ready to dive in?
Let's do it.
Let's do
Yeah, can we test my board
Oh,
real
wait.
quick?
Yeah, let's test his board.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Let's see this. Let's see what
If
this
we can
looks
get
like.
the board on there. I don't know if we can. There we go. There's
go.
the board.
Do that with a crayon?
Perfect.
I love that.
Yep.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Now we're professionals.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, now let's dive in. Hey guys, can you create a variable that includes multiple computer names, admin and maintenance, etc.? Need to run things not on certain computers and not on others. Sincerely, Russell.
Where's my bell? Can I ring in?
You just start answering if you got it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I got this one then.
Oh man.
I would use a static collection for that. I'd group all those computers together in one static collection and then make it part of the machines I shouldn't touch. And then I can reference that collection in other collections to say, here are all the Chrome that are old and that I shouldn't touch.
Now, if you want something a little more adaptive than a static collection, variables in inventory do also support regex. So if you wanted a dynamic collection that uses some of those regex filters, you can use like the asterisk or any of those other fun regex symbols that nobody can remember and set those up there.
Yeah.
Tim in the chat said using a pipe. That is for the regex. That is an or statement.
Right.
With regex.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Point goes to?
I'm going to get to Sid and the audience.
Okay.
They don't like your static collection at all.
Dang. Okay. Well, wait a minute. Static collection was in the audience. I should get a half point.
You can't fight for points.
Okay.
JJ's rule is final. All right, next
The
question.
gavel.
How do I know if I'm using the best tool for the job? Can you do a breakdown between Deploy, Inventory, and Smart Deploy, and when each product should be used? Scale and limits? Sincerely, Dare and B.
That's a great question. I think it depends on the.
And I'm going to chime in if y'all don't beat me to it.
Boom! Glenn, you're the man.
Don't sleep on Glenn.
Go for it.
Yeah, so I know the audience that I'm speaking to, and these are mostly folks who've been using PDQ Deploy and Inventory for years. So what I can tell you Smart Deploy does really well is imaging endpoints. You can apply drivers to any hardware. You can use the same image for any device, any make and model. You can push it out to any location. We do local and cloud-based deployments. We also have some feature overlap with Deploy and Inventory, so it's one of those things where it really just depends on where your focus is. If it's on endpoints and drivers, Smart Deploy is probably going to be your best bet. If it's on application deployment and endpoint management, then Deploy and Inventory might be best for you. But there is going to be some overlap in functionality between the two. There are application deployment and device management features built into Smart Deploy as well. So we encourage you to try them both.
Dang, dude.
Absolutely.
Wow. Clean
One breath,
sweep.
too.
Yeah. Did you breathe in that?
Yeah.
A little bit between the words.
He passes out.
That's a solid point there for Glenn.
Yeah.
I think Glenn's been practicing that circular breathing.
Oh, well, there you go.
Exactly.
He's a
Yeah,
trumpet
get on that
player.
saxophone.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Hang on. That's the one we just did. This one is a novel. Are you ready?
Oh, wow.
Okay. Tiny little font. We have a bunch of information from AD we want to bring into PDQ Inventory for asset reporting. Currently, the only way I've been able to do it to function is by running a PowerShell script that creates a CSV based on an AD import of the attributes we need, followed up by using the PDQ Inventory CLI to import the CSV into custom fields. Is there an easier way? And if not, are there any plans to allow you to display additional AD attributes in PDQ Inventory? Sincerely, Rich.
Let's
S.
play a game of count the acronym.
I hate that we worked on this before, so I don't get a point now.
Oh, because you would have
This is
written the
the
PowerShell?
perfect-
Oh,
Speed round
you know I
question.
would have copied it from somewhere online.
All right,
If I could have found it, I would have plagiarized it.
If we share the screen, there is an easier way.
Yeah.
And you said, so this does require to be,
To use
to be able
PowerShell scanner.
to run remotely against the domain controller.
Yes.
In this case, we have a read-only domain controller where you can only query, you can't write to it.
Yeah.
If you want to enable remote into regular domain controllers, that's up to you and security. But for us,
Right.
we have a read-only one. So it's basically a new PS session with the domain controller. Then this just gives you the name of the computer that you're running the scanner on. And then invoke command with the session you built. And then it's import module active directory, get AD computer with the properties asterisk. That's going to be a lot. If you know which properties you're looking for,
Right.
just specify those.
Specific ones.
And then you want to do the argument list computer so it passes through.
My script looks almost like this.
Identical almost.
Yeah.
All right, so with that, so if we say against, we'll say,
So to answer the question, though, too, we're basically taking the same information he's querying in AD now with PowerShell outside of PDQ.
Yeah, and we're just putting it
and
into-
doing it in PDQ inventory through a PowerShell scanner.
yeah, it removes a lot of the import. It just puts it all into a single
It
table.
just creates a table for it automatically.
We'll run that scan and we'll see if it actually works. In theory, this is fantastic.
So if it doesn't work, do you get a point?
No.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about this earlier, and also like from the perspective, it pulls a lot of information.
So if you do properties asterisk, there's like on average like 90
Yeah.
attributes that it grabs.
Yeah. So if you can pare that down, it'd probably be better. It just, I guess it depends on the project you're working on or what you're doing, but
All right, well, I'm going to go to the pre-run one.
here we
So
go.
Active Directory. So this is the Active Directory scanner I just wrote, just to see all the attributes that it does bring in. This is every attribute in AD.
Yep.
You don't need that many.
Right.
So just go select the ones, pick the ones you need, put
Yeah,
it in.
you can hide what you don't want if you're just looking at this entry here. You can also add any of these to your view and
Yeah.
columns and stuff like that too.
Yeah, so you want to do dash properties, list each one, and then pipe that into a select object where you list everything that you want,
Mm-hmm.
and then that's what will return, and that will give you everything you want in a single table.
Cool.
Nice.
Excellent. Excellent. Next question.
I'm not. Wait,
Yeah,
hold
yep.
on. I'm not sure who to give that point to.
Honestly, that should go to Jordan.
All right.
I feel like I've earned that one.
He did earn that one. He was working on that one this morning, so he earned it.
We did confer on it, but I will let him have the point because I'm just a guest.
Okay.
I
Here we
don't
go.
want him to have too big a head he can't get out of here, but
All right, well, then this one could be for you then. Is PDQ looking at a cloud-hosted option and agent in lieu of the older Link server? This would be great for companies that aren't going back to in-person and remove the VPN overhead. Sincerely, Travis.
hey,
Yes.
Travis. Yeah, we're doing don't even. Yeah, PDQ Connect.
Point for Jordan.
PDQ Connect is being developed now. It's in testing, initial phases now.
I think we have a select beta where you can sign up to, and I think they're bringing people in slowly.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Nice.
See,
for
got to
Josh.
jump in.
but,
That's a savvy vet.
I'm learning.
And next question on the board. How can we build a PDQ inventory report that shows workstations with duplicate IP addresses? Ricardo C.
No, you told
Fix
me.
your DNS.
Fix your well, some machines have multiple IP addresses as well.
True. You'd have to concatenate them somehow, but we talked about this one before the webcast too. You were working on that.
And then I got sidetracked, but you said you found something. I'm going to hand over the mouse, which is a deadly game.
Oh, it's on my computer up
It's
there.
on your
It's
computer.
not here.
So
I
you said you
didn't prep
found
anything.
something that Colby wrote?
Yeah, I found something on Reddit that was, I just typed in duplicate IPs, PDQ, and the first thing that came up was a GitHub that was in Colby's name right there.
Oh, in there?
The dynamic collection of duplicate IPs.
Got a link to that in the chat as well if anyone wants that script.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, right there. See, GitHub Colby-PDQ.
It's Colby's still scoring points.
I know. Colby, wait, add him to the board. Colby gets a point,
No,
and we don't
he's-
get nothing.
I believe he's audience now.
All right. Let's see. Let's get
One
over.
other way you can do that if you don't want to mess with SQL is if you just add a basic report that has computer name and IP address, you can group by the IP address and it'll give a nice little count of how many results there are.
Yeah.
So it'll have everything in there, but it'll be real easy to see where you got more than one.
Okay. Next question. The points are increasing. We'll just say that. How can I send myself email notifications using PowerShell? JG?
Yes. Oh, Jordan.
So you need the port you're sending, the SMTP address, credential, where you're sending from, where you're sending to, title, subject, and attachment. Each one of those fields. So like in the case of Gmail, it's smtp.gmail.com. Port is 587. And so you can put each one of those into like a, I'm going to say array, but that's wrong. Splat maybe.
Yeah.
And
if
then
you
just at the very bottom, send message.email. So it's my credential. This is where it's going to ask you for the credential manually. If you're looking for that to be automated, that's where you use like the secrets module that we've covered a few times to build the credential. And then it's who it's going to, where it's coming from, subject, body, and all that can be. If you're capturing data and that's what you want to send, just you capture that in the variable and you put the variable like in the subject, and that's what it will name it.
this looks like you worked on this ahead of time.
Actually, I went to my own script and copy and pasted. And I, obviously, why am I so handsome? Because of science is the answer. But right there, and for attachments, just the direction to the location of the attachment you're doing, and that should send an email for you. So if you're doing it from our product or a different place, and you're just capturing data, you just make sure your data captured into a variable. You put that into the right header or field, and that should send for you.
And I would like to thank everyone who submitted questions in advance. We send out a link to a form in the webcast email that we send. And this week, we have some good prizes. We're giving away a custom PDQ keyboard. So everyone that gets a question in is in the running.
That's
for
a
that.
good prize.
That is a really cool prize. All right. Next question. Can you use PDQ to orchestrate OS version upgrades like from 2012 to 2016? AJ.
Glenn?
So
Yeah, I think Glenn gets this one by proxy from his answer earlier.
I know. So the answer to the question, we did a webcast on this. Well, you guys did a webcast on this, on doing those Windows updates that way. But yeah, the better way would probably be to use something like Smart Deploy that can handle that.
Yeah, I'll
very
chime in on
easily.
this one if you like. So yeah, OS upgrades are pretty drastic. They are more than just installing a piece of software. They are essentially installing a complete new set of Windows install files, possibly running USMT, the user state migration tool, to migrate user data from one OS to the other. You are basically flattening that machine and restoring it. Now, the upgrade process is essentially that, but semi-automated by Microsoft, and most of the time it works pretty well. It's not a process that I recommend. Upgrades can go badly wrong, especially for server infrastructure. If you're going from a 10-year-old server 2012 R2 server and you're trying to put 2016 on it, I would wipe that machine and put a fresh 2016 image on it. That way, you're not inheriting all of that prior configuration, all of that software configuration, things that might have prerequisites that are no longer supported on a current OS version. I would also not stop at 2016. I would move a little bit farther forward so you can wait a little bit longer before doing this again. You've got 2019 and 2022 on offer at this point, so obviously that's going to depend on what licensing you have available. But yeah, using a tool like SmartDeploy to migrate user data from that machine and to apply the Windows Server OS to it, that's how I would go about it.
That's a point right there.
Did you see the chat?
Oh,
Frank
yeah.
said he should get 2 points for that because the holding his breath.
That's right. You went 2 minutes without breathing. Rock on, Glenn.
Just one.
Okay, just one.
That's your modus operandi.
I have sung on stage before. I've got a little bit of breath control practice there.
There we go. All right, well done. Next question.
Before we go to the next question,
Okay.
In the chat, JJ mentioned that send-mail message is giving him an error that it's obsolete. And it's possible. There are other commands in PowerShell that can send it, or you can find the .NET class and call it up that way. It's just like SMTP.
When you were browsing, I saw something about it saying it was obsolete. And it said something about it being replaced with something, but I didn't get to read it.
There's a new command. So send-mail is just based on my old habits. I haven't sent one in a long time, but it's going to be a similar command.
Old timer.
It's going to be a similar command to that. I just don't have it in front of me.
JJ, I gotta ask, on the scoreboard, why didn't you use like an Excel sheet or something? Just curious.
I love watching him draw while we're.
I don't like Excel.
Okay.
Plus, the
I love what
GCCH
you're doing
thing
here.
looks
I'm
so
just-
majestic this way.
This
just
is
seems
a
so much
built-in
more
tool.
effort.
It's a built-in tool into Zoom.
Oh, is
so
it? Okay.
It's, easy. It's
Oh,
easier.
whiteboard. Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Excellent. Just curious.
Yeah.
All right, next question. How can I use PDQ to disable Microsoft Teams in startup for users? Can this be tracked, enabled, disabled in inventory? Chad B. I have the same question.
Ooh. I don't know enough about this one. Is Teams a per user kind of install or an all-in-one?
It is per user. So Teams does this fun thing where the only machine installer you can use is, in fact, not Teams itself, but an installer that then installs per user.
Yeah, it's wild. You will see it in add remove programs as Teams machine-wide installer, and then it kicks off automatically upon first login per user. It checks whether there is already an instance of it in the app data folder, and if there is not, it will go ahead and install one, and it will automatically run on startup for that user. So yeah, the only way to get around it is to remove that machine-wide installer or to apply some sort of policy that would prevent it from installing.
I haven't tested this, so take it with a grain of salt and, try it on a test machine first, but generally per user startup programs are managed in the registry, and managing user registry settings with Deploy Inventory are a bit tricky for a variety of reasons, but we do have this great blog that Chris Powell wrote for us that goes over how you can manage user registry settings, and so you might have some luck checking that out as well. And then as far as tracking it, some of the same snippets in there can be used for PowerShell scanner to check the results as well.
So to be clear, if you uninstall the machine-wide one,
Yeah.
everyone that's logged in is still going to have the local user one. So
Right.
you want to hit the machine-wide first
Before they log
then
in.
hit every individual user.
Yeah, because it'll create that when they log in the first time.
Plus, the fact Teams is evil. But anyway, I didn't say that out loud, did I?
I think how do I get rid of Teams might be the most searched thing on the internet right now. They're very
Let's
aggressive.
make a video on
Do
it.
have an uninstall Teams in the package library for anyone who'd like to go that route.
Bam.
I would.
Thank
Does
you.
that do the per user?
Oh, I'd have to double check on that one.
Okay.
Let's find out.
We'll get back to you.
Well, the next question's coming on.
All right. Next question. We have started using Always On VPN, but PDQ cannot seem to communicate with the machines. I also am not able to ping the PDQ server from a machine on the VPN. Is there a firewall setting of some sort that I need to allow the IP range to communicate with PDQ? Dougie Fresh K.
So I'm sure I'm going to let Sid do it since he's got the Google in front of him. But
Yeah.
we do have a document out there about every port that has to be open for PDQ to be able to see it.
Right.
And so just make sure those ports are open through the VPN. As long as they are, it should
Windows firewall ports and settings. That's what we.
When I'll grab a link to that in the chat as fast as I can type.
Well, we're all waiting on you. We're going to sit here in silence.
Yes.
No, we're not.
And glare.
See, my typing skills are about on par with those of Lex, so bear with me here.
You gonna go look at that script?
I was thinking about it.
Look at you getting all crazy.
About ready to give this point to Jordan.
Yeah.
There's one other resource here that might come in handy, since mentioned that was on VPN. Josh has a great blog here on just general setup of VPN to work with remote machines and PDQ. It goes over that and a few other things that you're going to want to make sure you've got. Essentially what it comes down to, though, is the holy trinity, whether you're on VPN or in the office, is you need to be able to resolve an IP address to a host name, or a host name to IP address, rather. You need to be able to ping, and you need SMB communication.
Yeah, that is probably the best article to point at, too. And Jordan's looking at that script that is in the uninstall package.
So it's specifically looking in the HQ local machine, which makes me think that's just the team-wide installer. You're still going to have to go in and get the individual users.
Right.
More
Hang on
silence?
one sec.
Okay.
Okay,
Things are getting serious now.
things are getting serial.
Wow.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Can we pass?
Uh-oh.
There's the
Or did you get it?
there's the board.
This is what we're getting serious about.
Glenn gets 3 points and a gold star.
Really incredible shading work on the Jordan there.
That is impressive.
Oh, I forgot that I shouldn't have used a green pen for this.
Oh,
Because it keys it out.
It is keying it out, yeah.
I'll think about that next time I do
there
this.
we go.
No one would have known.
Yeah, it's
Make it
fine.
orange.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yes.
Okay,
please.
let's move on because there are a lot of questions. We're almost going to have to jump into a speed round and still have like 16 questions.
I can
left.
say I don't know really fast.
All right. I've been trying everything I can think of to use PDQ to remotely set passwords in BIOS so that mischievous users cannot log into or change BIOS settings. Any suggestions would be greatly appreciated. Sincerely, Gil.
Ooh, I've got an answer for this, but it's not a good one.
I was going to say
So,
that. Go ahead.
BIOS updates are always going to vary depending on the process that has been set out by that particular hardware manufacturer. So some of them have made it easier than others. They've provided command line tools that you can use to set BIOS passwords. They've provided, HP in particular has one that allows you to encrypt the desired password as a bin file. If you need to apply a password before applying that command, you could pass it to separate bin files. Basically, anything you want to do via command line is generally possible through those enterprise-level manufacturers. Lenovo's got a tool for it as well. Dell has a tool for it as well. But what you will always want to avoid is putting a password in plain text because any form of automation is going to leave some record of running that command on that machine. So if they offer some way to obfuscate or encrypt that password, that is how you're going to want to apply it. And you're going to want to test it on a single machine before you attempt to automate it across multiple models. Even within the same manufacturing line, you're still going to want to test it on every model because different BIOS versions might support the feature to different degrees. You might have business class machines that support it well, and you might have consumer class machines that support it very poorly. So your mileage may vary, and best of luck.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say, too.
He just beat you to it.
But when I was doing this, I had a whole bunch of old machines that I didn't have that capability, like old Lenovo stuff. I'm running around with discs on my fingers to do BIOS updates. So I was like,
My answer 10 years ago would have been, you can't do it.
Yeah.
All right. Next question up for grabs. What is the status of having a primary user name and email associated with a device in PDQ Inventory to make it easier to search and identify devices by user as well as send email notifications? Thanks, Chad B.
The status?
Custom fields are
is
probably
this
going
a
to be the
feature?
best way to go on that one.
Yeah.
So if it's a primary one and it's only used by them, they should be in there, like for the last logged on, or there is a pre-built PowerShell scanner that goes to the logged on users and grabs the unique one of those. But if there's multiple people logging in, that could show up. Other one is.
So is he looking for it to be static? What was the question again? Was what is the status of? I'm trying to look for it.
What is the status of having a primary username and email associated with a device in PDQ Inventory?
Gotcha. So like set a static. Okay. Yeah, I think you're spot on because that information can change depending on who it's assigned to. But I've always done that in custom fields, where I put like a designated if I want to say this is Jordan's computer
Yep,
or email address. I've always done it there.
I'm looking for. I do have on the bonus content. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick. something where it assumes that it does have a custom field, and then basically in there with the email, it includes the SQL query to pull out that email so you can email the user
Right.
in one script. I just need to find it
Yeah.
real quick, hopefully.
Yeah, like I've been in situations before where the computer name has nothing to do with the user. It's like some serial number or asset tag. So create a custom field to basically add to your view so you can say, I'm looking for Jordan's computer, type that into search, and it filters for it.
So bonus content is called encourage VPN usage. This was for one of our clients that had users that wouldn't log into VPN, so they couldn't be updated.
Right.
So they went through with the custom field and set up the email address, and then this goes through, and if they're in a certain chart of haven't been online in X number of time, it will query, grab that email address, and email them and say, hey, please connect to your VPN.
That's cool.
Apparently I put the subject as you should VPN, buddy.
I like
But-
hello, fellow human.
Oh, I with my human eyes have noticed your computer. So it is possible. So GitHub, PDQ, bonus content, encourage VPN usage has how you can do the email after the fact. But as far as setting up the custom field, it's probably best to do CSV and import that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's bust into the speed round, gentlemen. Next question.
Points are double.
Aside from Jordan, what other mammals can't jump?
That's classifying Jordan as his own mammal group.
I
Apes can't jump.
believe elephants are unable to jump.
Oh,
That's got to be accurate.
See, I would
I
have.
don't know. I don't know.
I
mean-
really would have expected Jordan to get that question, but it's going to Sid. So
I didn't know elephants couldn't jump.
Blue whales can't jump either.
Oh, that's a good one. Well, blue whales can jump out of the water, though. Does that count?
Do you see Zach? Dead horses.
Do we call breaching jumping? That's an interesting
You know,
question.
We've got
Yes.
a semantic debate to
Yeah,
settle.
I mean,
here
if
to-
an elephant jumps off a cliff, he's
Semantics are a
falling, but it's
terrible
still
way to do a speed round.
technically jumping, right?
wow,
It's valuable information
Yeah.
for everybody.
I picked the wrong one to start the speed round.
You did.
If they don't gain that upwards momentum first off the cliff, though, is it more of a plummet?
So again, we're back to semantics. All right, next question. This is a legit
Yeah,
one.
no points on that.
No
one.
points. How does PDQ and Smart Deploy push to several hundred Windows 10 Pro machines on the same network, like 192.168. Blah blah? Joseph S.
So for PDQ,
Well, I can tell you for the Smart Deploy side of things, we do that with multicasting, which we support natively for console-initiated deployments and also through integration with Windows Deployment Services, or WDS. Anything that you are deploying that is over 25 machines at once, you are definitely going to want to use multicasting for that. Basically, it allows you to start and stop machines. They can jump on and off the same multicasting channel as you happen to walk through them and pixie boot them. And yeah, that's going to get them faster than doing them individually.
for PDQ, if it's on the same network, we're agentless, so
Yeah.
it just uses DNS and sends it where it needs to go.
Yep. And if you want all the nitty gritty details on exactly how PDQ Deploy does that, we've got a knowledge base article that I just dropped in the chat there that goes over exactly how it creates those services, how it runs agentless, how it does all that fun stuff behind the scenes for you.
How it works. That's what we used to
Okay.
call that article.
Next question in the speed round. I am moving from a hybrid environment, Commercial Cloud Tenant, to an Azure AD only, GCCH, Government Controlled Cloud Environment. Will you be supporting this environment in the future? Paul, uppercase G.
Yes. PDQ Connect.
It's the agent-based one.
It'll be the agent-based that'll handle that, yes.
That was outstanding.
Thank you.
That's like actual speed
I
round.
want to see the tally board, please.
I don't think.
I mean, I noticed, I was going to say, Glenn stopped getting check marks, so I wasn't sure what was going on there, but
No, he
I
just
was
got
also going to
one.
mention that Smart Deploy does support Azure AD domain join. If you tick the box in the answer file wizard, you'll be prompted to sign in as a user. If that user is authorized to join the domain, that machine will be domain joined in accordance with your group's policies. So, easy peasy.
Nifty.
there you go.
That's what I was going to say too, but
yeah.
just was faster.
I forgot.
Yeah.
All right, next question. How often do you handle service breaks, and what's some good tips for maintaining an old PDQ environment? I sometimes find myself resetting the entire database. David C.
Handle
There
service
are a
breaks.
number of things that could potentially be going wrong there, but if you're having to regularly reset your entire database, there
I'm assuming
that
by
one's tough.
resetting means
I would-
corruption, right?
Either corruption, or we've also had some cases that we've found in support where, if you're setting up some really aggressive scan profiles in a really large environment, particularly, it can really bog things down. I would highly recommend reaching out to us at support@pdq.com there. We can take a closer look at probably one of those databases that you're thinking about resetting and see what might be going on there. There's probably some performance improvements we could recommend there to keep you from having to start from scratch over and over.
I think the other thing I see on that is how the database is accessed. Like if you're RDPing in, or if there's multiple people RDPing versus being in client central server mode, that does cause some corruption at times too.
Let's stamp out corruption.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Will PDQ Inventory add installed Windows Store apps to the Applications tab, or should I just stick with my PowerShell scanner? Dominic R.
PowerShell scanner.
PowerShell scanner.
PowerShell scanner.
PowerShell scanner.
You know
PowerShell
what?
scanner.
I'm going to talk to the development team and see if we can work on this.
Oh yeah. PowerShell scanner.
PowerShell scanner.
Maybe we make it a
PowerShell
default
scanner.
PowerShell scanner.
We all got points.
Pretty good speed round.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. Can we create a heartbeat schedule that is active except for 8 hours per week, not active from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. on Fridays? Billy Z.
Yeah, just turn off the PDQ deploy console, stop the service for those 8 hours, and you're good to go. No.
So as far as built into the trigger itself, you can set a time frame that doesn't go, but it doesn't go by day. So you can block out that time for every day. But
Right.
if it's for a single day,
Yeah, like only run the heartbeat trigger during these hours, but that's it. Not on days, not that functional.
Next question. Can you please demonstrate configuring an email message for computers in a collection? For instance, a collection based on hard drive size remaining. Ed L.
so are you looking to email every computer in the collection, or like the user for everyone in the collection, or are you just looking to email?
So I read this as using the pre-built collection we have that says the hard drive space is low, and then taking a value like a custom field where that user is there, or that email address, and then using that to email.
To email the person? So
That sounds like you'd probably want an auto report rather than a collection then.
Well, no, I was saying use the pre-built collection for the low disk space.
to build the report. So,
I mean, you could do it indefinitely in a report, but I mean, that was the value I was going for.
so if we go back to the, I have to find my script again. What did I name it? Something about VPN, encourage VPN usage. So in the case of this one, it goes through for the query and it looks at the collection. In this case, for a certain collection ID, you just have to find the collection ID, and then pulls a list of computers from that one, and then it emails them based
Right.
on the custom fields. So this here, the bonus content, encourage VPN usage, should at least give you a good start. As far as showing all the fine tune, that's going to be specific to your collection ID and everything. I can't do all of that now, but
Right.
Using the encourage VPN usage at least should give you an idea on how to get started on that one.
And Sid, with an auto report, can you have that go to variable email addresses?
So
I believe with the auto reports, you do have to specify in advance what emails you want that to go to, but you can set up multiple, if I remember correctly.
Right. I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to say that user that's out of hard drive
yeah,
space.
so it's each going to basically want to email the user saying, hey, you're running out of space. So in this one, the way this works is it tries to email every single person that's in that collection, letting them know
Right.
about what it is. And then if it fails to email someone, it sends you a list of users that it failed so you can see where your custom variable might be incorrect or there might be a problem.
Right. Because this is dynamic information. This would be the way to go, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, not exactly speed round worthy, but well done, gentlemen. Well done. Next question. I'm seeing the Kerberos, the target account name is incorrect error. I know it's usually based on stale DNS records. Any best practices for fixing this for VPN targets? Kevin B. Kevin Bacon.
I'm going to refer again to that blog that Josh
wrote.
put together for us a little while back that was linked earlier in the chat. That I'll drop it in there again. He goes over all the things you need to make sure PDQ will run smoothly with VPNs.
Next.
Okay, here we go. Pushing buttons takes time. What sort of options are there for advanced scheduling and deploy? Second Tuesday of each month is easy. How about the day after the second Tuesday of each month, which isn't always the second Wednesday? Wolfric 83.
So there's not really a good way to say, hey, I want the day after this, just in the schedule itself. But what you can do is you can set up that schedule to run on, say, every Wednesday, and then for the auto download packages at least, which is what it sounds like you're probably using here with Second Tuesday. That sounds like a Patch Tuesday kind of deal is you can set up the auto approval schedule for those packages, so it takes however long you want that delay after Patch Tuesday. If you want to run the day after, go ahead and set it for a one-day approval, and then with that schedule set to run on Wednesdays, it'll kick that off as soon as those packages get approved.
Yeah, and you could do the auto approval or you could do manual approval on those packages, so you can control when. The auto approval basis, to answer that question now.
Outstanding. All right, we have 6 questions remaining. The game is still up for grabs. Will you provide an option for submitting community source template packages which might make their way into the package library? The mighty Tim M.
Maybe. I was just trying to answer first.
Well, we have package templating. I think we do have a place you can email if they have one they want us to do. But as far as the community source one, I don't know if that's...
Yeah, we don't have anything built for it yet.
I bet Sid.
Yeah, we don't have anything built on that at this point. We are looking at like what we can do for any kind of community offerings and other expansions of the package library in the future, but I don't want to make any promises on that. We're still kind of in the pretty early stages of seeing exactly how we can expand those. But that is kind of the goal with templates, is to give us a lot more flexibility to do cooler, fancier stuff in the future.
Yeah.
All right, next question. What should the workflow look like to have PDQ apply Windows updates to remote laptop users? We are using Heartbeat feature for now, but it doesn't always work because of DNS issues. Will the PDQ agent, when it comes out, help with this? Sincerely, here's looking at you, kid. Humphrey.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, it's I think the main focus of the agent is to take care of that exact issue.
That's exactly why we're...
Yep. If DNS is a pain point, Connect will take care of a lot of that for you.
So let me ask.
I should also mention SmartDeploy has recently added a patch management feature, which allows you to see whether your endpoints are up to date and initiate the Windows Update process if you should so desire, on individually or en masse.
What were you going to say, Jordan?
Well, how aggressive do you want to get on cleaning up DNS? Because I have a script that will remove everything that's even a little bit old. It's very aggressive. And then it will constantly update for you. But I don't know.
Just saying. just throwing that out there.
All right, only a few questions remaining.
Let's do it.
Here we go. When will I get my beta invitation for PDQ Connect? Angrily, Pdq A.
Well, Mark's not here.
Well, right now, PDQ Connect is still in alpha. I'm not totally sure on what the timeline is for that going into beta, but I believe that's expected sometime in the next few months. I'm sure Owen will come beat me up if I am over-promising on that one.
Watch this one. I know a guy. No promises, but...
All right, 3 more questions. Hang on.
Come on, button pusher.
Boom. There we go. I have a number of old machines showing in PDQ Inventory as online, but they haven't been on for months. How do I clear them? Jason C.
How do you clear the machines or the online? If you're looking to clear the machines, that might be an AD sync issue, where your settings might be an import only, and they're using newer IP addresses for those old machines. If you're talking about machines that are still existing but they're showing as online, that would be a DNS issue. That was a clear point for Hanks.
Yeah.
I don't know. JJ, have you been able to
The
update
point was
before?
identified.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
just checking.
So, to complicate things, I guess, if there's like a non-answer, or if the answer is no, I tend to. You all can answer no, and I don't want the first person to be like, no, to get the point. So no one gets that point.
Well,
I
who is
thought I knew
more,
how to play this
also-
game, but now
who is most confident in the know? So.
I exuded a lot
Also-
on that one.
There was some
Glenn is
confidence.
getting a bunch of points because
He sounds smart.
we'll call it PDQ Smart Deploy, because Smart Deploy has a lot of the features that people are asking about already built. If it's something that we can't set in front of someone right now, I really don't feel great about giving a point for it. If your answer is like, oh yeah, that'll be in PDQ Connect, let's
could
wait
be.
till it's in there.
It could be.
I'll
At some
accept that.
point.
I'm
Yeah.
only worried about the point for my brilliant answer just a moment ago.
You got the point. Not to
yes.
worry. Like I put it on there.
I know.
And I put it on there before you asked for it. I'm keeping track.
I have faith in you,
Well,
JJ.
so
I just
I would also say, as somebody who's been steeped in Smart Deploy since near the beginning, that you should definitely stay tuned on all of this, because these products and the extent to which they will integrate with each other over time, the extent to which which it will make better sense which ones to use in which situations, we're still kind of feeling all of that out ourselves. And as our roadmaps start to align, you're going to see a lot more coherence in that over time. So if there's a feature in Smart Deploy that you want to see in PDQ Connect, there's a good chance that you're just going to have to wait a little while to find out. But anything that you find useful is what we are trying to include across all of our product offerings, and that is definitely going to be the case going forward.
It is evolving. That's for sure. All right, 2 questions remaining. Here we go. We use the annoying "you need to reboot" script. Is there a way to get it to reboot if the user does not respond to the prompt? Russell K.
So this is
Isn't that the hardcore IT way? You just send it?
well, no. There's a user submitted one where it would minimize all applications
Right.
and do that. So with the pop-up window, I don't know if there's a timer on that. I'd have to go look at the script again to dive in. But a lot of times with those forms where it pops up a yes or no, you can give it a countdown, and if there's no response, the default response can be yes to reboot. I just would have to
Dig into the actual script.
dig in the script again. It's not off the top of my head.
The other thing you could maybe do on there, if you just don't care what the user says, is you can just use the reboot step in PDQ Deploy. It might not do some of that other fancy stuff like minimizing applications like it sounds like that does, but that'll just give them warning, hey, this is going to reboot, or whatever you want that message to say, and you can set a timer right there in the GUI for that.
Yeah. For his example,
Smart Deploy is merciless in this regard. If you have the Smart Deploy client installed on something, you can reboot it without notifying the user at all, without any warning whatsoever, or you can give them that warning if you should so desire. You can do it over local or cloud. So,
for the example
away
in
a
that
lot
one,
of
we had
points
people
on
that cannot just reboot.
Right.
So they had it where it would ask them to it. And so
Right.
instead of just popping up saying, hey, can we, it would get extra annoying and minimize it, which is where that one's coming from.
Right.
Call to harass user. But as far as changing the message box, I'm not sure.
All right, final question of the day. Any update on the ability to use an external database server for PDQ deploying inventory? The SQLite on the same machine is not the quickest for larger networks. Luke B.
No, so we PDQ Deploy Inventory do only work with the SQLite installation that is included with those installers. There's not any way at this point, and I don't believe currently on our roadmap to include external databases in that.
Correct. But you could use an ODBC connector to pull data if you're using it for reporting or things like that.
Just make sure that if you're going to use anything external to tie into that database, you stop the services first. You can corrupt the database if you're trying to talk to it while Deploy or Inventory are in the process of doing something.
Absolutely.
I will mention that Smart Deploy uses MongoDB, but apart from that, my answer is identical to what you fellows just said, including the ODBC connector.
All right. Should we take a look at the point total, JJ?
yeah, let's tally it up.
How are we here?
We have
Whoa.
audience with 2, Hank with 3,
I thought I was
Jordan
beating
with
Jordan.
5. Yeah, you're close. Glenn with 7, and the winner, and the one with the Google device. Sid.
And a keyboard and
I'm not-
mouse. I have nothing.
Not to-
Yeah,
not
the
to throw
win
shade at
goes
you,
to
Sid.
Google here. I am merely a
Exactly.
proxy.
Yeah, do I
The
get a
winner,
handicap?
yes, is Sid/Google with 8.
Yay.
Good job.
I think we're going to have to start adding Google as a potential
Yeah.
point getter. All right, well done. All right, camera 2, guys.
All right. Thanks everyone to tuned in. I think the system was rigged as usual. Everyone cheated.
I know.
My points were the most valid points, but tune in next week when we're going to talk about using Smart Deploy.
Oh,
Yeah, to remotely image machines.
All right.
that's right. It's going to be awesome.
For PDQ.com, I'm Jordan.
I'm Jason.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Congratulations, Darren B., winner of a custom PDQ keyboard. Please send us your info at webcast@pdq.com. If you like what you've seen today, do us a favor, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Have a fantastic week, and we'll see you back.